Apparently I start every video with all right, so I'm just gonna leave those in there for you. But this is gonna be part 3 on the FrankenFox Mustang. As you can see, I've got the hood, trunk, where is that? Wing, all drying. Got those painted up. Gonna put them on tomorrow, and that's pretty much gonna end my winter project now that it's the middle of July. So the state of the car in the end of the fall was that we had it kind of running, but we had kind of hit a wall with the incompatibility of running the EFI with a non-HO engine. And we also had the problem of transmission grinding in 1-2 shift. And then of course the front radiator core was known to be bad. Turned out there was more rust than I thought. I mean, I'm not gonna call it a restoration, but it was starting to dabble with that. So basically taking what was good of the red car, putting it on the blue car, probably 100 hours put into it this winter. All that to say, before I painted this from the outside, you couldn't even really tell that I had done anything, but there were a lot of improvements made. So here's the video for that. Get ready for a whole bunch of all right. Part 2 has already begun. Got the front bumper off, front fenders off. You can now see why I'm replacing that front clip. That's pretty nasty. And that's all mangled. So yeah, here back we're gonna redo. We're pulling this out, gonna reroute some of the wiring on the outside, just really clean up everything in here. Let's dig into it. All right, let's just look at everything here. We got wiring harness coming through here, the alternator harness plus the wiring harness going through here. We got our tensioner here, tag there, these clips that hold the bumper housing. We got in each corner there's a ground here. There's a ground under this bolt. Starter goes here. Alternator here. Hot here. This wasn't hooked up in anything, possibly AC power. It was just hiding down in there. All right, let's trace some AC lines. This goes to the brake booster right here. Red stripe goes through here and into this unit. AC goes over to that bracket. BR goes to the TAD solenoid thing. And then the S goes to the main supply. This is going up to the sprayer, I think. Anyways, comes down through here as well. I'll disconnect it there. Top goes to here. The top one of the tab thing. And then the bottom one is what goes over to this main splice. This goes on the right side into here. Now that connects to the headlight harness.
It's been 60 seconds, Dad.
This is the O2 sensor bracket. Pretty good. This comes through the firewall, goes to the right side of this tab thing. All right, we'll do a little update for you. Got this whole front clip ready to be torn off. The engine fairly well stripped, ready to be pulled. Kind of see that repair we're gonna do there and why we're doing this. Pretty boogered up there. And over here, we've got this engine painted. All right, here's our engine. We had to redo the oil pan gasket. Since we're in here and got the engine out, we're gonna put a new pump and pickup in. Cylinders look really nice from what I can see. Everything looks as advertised. Got a double roller on there. All right, new milling pump and pickup installed. I'll just clean this up a little more. I'm gonna paint the pan black, clean it all up, and we'll slap that on. All right, little update. Got some equal length headers that were on the parts red car. Got them all brushed up. We're gonna paint them, cure them. Got the oil pan cleaned up, rust scraped off, rust treated, primed, motor mounts primed, oil pan things primed. Christmas week once again, making good progress. Let's take a peek. Woo, those look nice. You bake them in the oven to cure the paint. Hopefully that lasts for a while because that looks sharp. Got the oil pan painted. All right, got the whole front clip hacked off. Now I need to go and get all the pop rivets off and pop that off. Then we're about ready to pull that engine. Need to go buy an engine stand or get one somewhere. All right, fuel line with the black tape goes to Schrader, this one. Ready for a new front clip. That guy's coming out. And that beauty's going in. Curvy end of the power steering line goes in that hole. All right, this ground needs tightened down, and this ground from the engine harness goes to the same location. Boom. Ready to clean that up. Got a little rust repair to do there. Slap that on there. Probably gonna paint the inside. Those guys are getting media blasted. Put back on there. That's going bye-bye, that's staying. All right, a lot has happened. Decided to just replace that frame rail in that bucket because the red car has a good one right there. And then we'll just patch this one up. It's pretty solid. Maybe we might put a patch panel right in there and clean that up. But we're gonna put that sway bar on. The red car is slowly but surely going away. Finally making some progress. Been at it. I don't know, I probably have 15 hours, maybe not quite that much, 10 hours into this. Boom! The blue car has the red car from the firewall to here. There was one little kind of bad spot there, so we're gonna put a patch in there, and then we'll patch that. But got this all welded in. Yes, lovely welds, right? So finally, if we can get those strut pieces in, and we're back to reassembly. Can't wait. All right, today's update. Got this prepped for painting nearly. Separated the transmission and the clutch. I'll show you that later. Unfortunately, it looks pretty roasted. It was working pretty good, but how's this for substandard? Just separated the transmission from this. The needle bearing fell out. This is beat to tar. Pulled this out. What is this? That is a socket. And that was the solution? Whew. Got another couple hours in. Got most of the rust cut out of there. We'll pour 15 the inside of that. And that one was a little worse. Picked up some patch panels from eBay. They fit great, except I had to adjust the holes a little bit where they'll sit. This one looked basically perfect from the outside, but top of the rail is sandwiched here with the strut tower, and then the outer frame goes over it. The piece sandwiched was really rusty, but the outer and inner parts weren't. Yeah, this one, the whole bottom was gone. Pretty happy that this is okay. Rust and junk that came out of the inside of those frame rails, not to mention what I vacuumed up. See, looks pretty good from the outside. Rust. All right, got the engine bay primed. Pour 15 the inside of. Got the valve covers painted. That engine is the 306 out of there. That is going bye-bye. So that's for sale now. All right. Woo! On to that one. Hey! Strut towers repaired. Radiator support repaired. No rust in the front. Look at that. Nice. Put a little seam seal up in there, but pretty happy with that. I don't know how long it'll last, but it looks really good right now. Woo! Look at that. I like it a lot. All right, starting to look good. Had to run these backwards because the 90s didn't fit, or the 45s or whatever didn't fit real great. Gotta get the fuel rails, wiring harness. I'm gonna have to paint that bad boy up. Yeah, coming along. Can't figure out where I put my other injectors. Getting the wirings cleaned up. I did tuck some stuff. The alternator upgrade, sub over. I'm gonna put this relay and gotta connect these grounds and put an extension on here, sneak it through. Well, actually I could ground that on this side too if I wanted to. Just trying to keep this not as clustered. Yeah, I got that pretty much. Most of that ready to go. Gotta do some of the plumbing and whatnot for that. Fix these door gaps that are too big. Then we can start getting the front clip back on. And I'm pretty sure I've decided I'm not putting the 4-cylinder T5 back in. There's a synchro grind between 1 and 2. Don't really want to rebuild it. I think I've got a guy who's gonna give me one out of a Cobra. All right, still trying to figure out where I put the other injectors. I went ahead and ordered a fuse block to clean this up, or a power block. So we're gonna stick a power block under there, just have one jumper wire and then connect everything to the power block. And got a electric fan controller. It's gonna adjust the door gap here and broke the bolt off. So fortunately the other car had one, but you gotta pull the dash. Anyways, so I might just pull the dash since we're here. I don't like that rust there, but seal it so that it keeps moisture from the outside out at least. Slash traps all the current rust in, it'll just continue to grow. Anyways, do need to do door pins, especially this one's roached, but got these rust converted and painted. New door pins. These were kind of spread, so I got those in there real nice now. And I replaced that roller. Rust converted this, painted that. I'm just gonna ignore this. Went ahead and put a distribution block in. That was starting to be 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of wires. Alternator upgrade, sub over, original stuff to the battery and to the starter solenoid right there. So that really kind of cleaned that area up. I've just got power to the distribution block, that little actuator. This wire I couldn't reach to the distribution block, so I just stuck it there. Alrighty, I always start it with an all right. Let's get you caught up on where we're at. Got the injectors cleaned. I got this little injector cleaner kit from Amazon. Stick the injector in there. You take this little guy off, and then you shove the can right in that, sprays through there. And then they got this little thing, clip it on a 12-volt battery, and then the leads fit right into the injector. And then you can cycle the injector, and this will spray the fluid through. So got those cleaned up, new rings, a couple new pintles. I think that's how you say it. Got the wire harness back on, ground's done. Ooh, got the exhaust ports plugged on the back. This is new. This is the JEGS fan control relay. So yeah, pretty nice. It's got an inline fuse. It's a standalone system. Got your relay. Yellow goes to 12 volt positive power. Green goes to the air conditioning clutch if you have one. I don't have one. Hopefully someday I do, so I just kind of looped it down there. White is going to go to a manual switch override. Oh, I threw it back in there. Yeah, I'm going to do the heater core while I'm at it, so I'm slowly taking the interior apart. Oh yeah, and then right here, just did a little minor rust repair, and then this is messy. I'm going to paint it. And then negative battery to fan motor. So it'll turn on, and this goes to your engine temp. So it turns on at a certain temperature. Then you have a manual override, and then if the AC switches on, it's always on. Got the door jacked up. I was setting the door gap and then realized I should probably have it on the ground when I do that. And I decided to paint that, so that's kind of a process. Here's a fun one for you. I got this T5 for doing some work for a guy. So I didn't pay anything for it. It was just rebuilt, and the bearing retainer bolts all pulled out. Blew that shaft, rounded off that. I'm hoping that's all the damage. Reinstalled. Got the gap better. Still not thrilled with it. Can't go any further this way because the plate that it hooks into hits a clip in there. Trying to wire in my fan. Real garage body work over here. Just kind of scuffed some bad stuff. There's a little bit of nastiness there. Just sanded it down, rust converted, painted over it. Made some decisions here. We're gonna rebuild the T5 that was in it. It was working fine. Probably needed new synchros, but everything, you know, it looks great inside. The other T5 that I got that's cooked is just that, it's cooked. It would need a new input, new cluster, all new gears, full rebuild kit, and the case is trashed. Cut up the red car. Save some of this stuff. Hopefully sell that, sell the K-member. Maybe I can sell that quarter. That's a good quarter. Ooh, I still got to get these plastics off. Yeah, that's the one thing I got to do still. And hopefully can sell most of that stuff. Goodbye, red car. From AMP. And so it begins. Got our tools set up here. T5 we're going to repair or rebuild. That's our scrap parts one. We're going to lay out all our parts in the order that we take them off. We've got our new gear set. New input shaft, our 3 new gears. It's the 335 ratio, rated at 350 horse. We have a steel bearing retainer. We have a billet bearing retainer for the back of the cluster, so we don't get any in-play flex. Putting in all new bearings, all new synchros, all the small hardware. All right, so we got everything disassembled and mostly cleaned. Still feeling good about this. Let's check it out. So we got our main case, cluster out, everything's out. This is the reverse setup. We're just gonna leave that. And then I just laid out my parts in order that I took them out. There's some really good, my little tiny parts I put in there. There's some really good YouTube videos, Eric the Car Guy and the guy from the Gearbox, which is where I got my rebuild kit. They both have a video that they did together. It's on Eric the Car Guy's YouTube. But I think even better than that, 505 Speeds has a rebuild for walkthrough, and it's just like you just do what he says and you're pretty much good to go. You need a shop press. I don't have that, so I've been going back and forth. One of these pliers that are spreaders for these guys. Get a decent pair of snap ring pliers. Not this kind of junk. You need a few different punches. This is actually an AR-15 assembly punch set, but it's worked good to get the roll pins out. Okay, second gear synchro, so I had a 1-2 grind. Look at that. The old pad is cooked. And of course, second gear. Just a minute, buddy. Pretty rounded teeth. These ones right here. All right, we got updates. Pretty much stalled out. Got her cleaned up. The new counter shaft installed. However, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can certainly feel it. There's a little end play. So we need to shim it up, and my kit didn't come with enough shims, small ones particularly. I just need to move up like 1 or 2 thousandths. So I got a new 1-2 slider coming. The 3/4 keys, these guys. So now it'll have basically all the upgrades. The counter shaft plate, the front plate, bronze bushings, bronze shift bushing. What else? The billet things for the slider for 3/4, and then a new 1-2 slider. Plus it's got the nicer gear set. It's rated at 350, so got like $1,000 for the parts into this transmission. Basically a new transmission, but I can't work on the main shaft because I need that slider, and I can't work on finish the cluster because I need those shims. So probably clean up some of these parts so they're ready to go, otherwise I'm waiting. We got the clutch on. Realized we're missing a dowel, so waiting on one of those. Clutch tool goes in and out beautifully. Got that all cleaned up. As soon as I get that dowel, we can button this up. Just went ahead and bought a new pilot or throwout bearing and fork, and also the ball in there. Like if I'm going this far, I might as well just place everything. So it's literally everything's new except for this clutch. Has a little bit of use on it, but it still looks great. Just noticed last night some wires have been chewed a little there. So I'm gonna repair that. Just got in today the 1-2 slider. Who knows? Hopefully I don't regret not springing for the Cobra gear set. I know it was like another $300, so at some point you gotta, at least for me, I'm on a tight budget, so I gotta save some money. So but I think the 335s will be so much better than the 4-cylinder gear set as far as feel. So I hope that first gear is more usable. And with 355s in the back, yeah, if you had like a 373 or something, maybe the Cobra gear set makes more sense. So 355 in the back, and 335 in the first gear transmission. Hopefully that's a good combination. All right, taking a short video before I put the cover on. Got our new steel retainer in, new input shaft, new bearings, new gears. Actually, everything is new on this shaft except for 5th gear. The 3/4 slider I reused. Otherwise, everything is new on this shaft. Of course, there's a new cluster in here with new bearings on both ends, and a new synchro and all the new hardware. So on this end, we have the billet retainer. So the gear itself is reused. The slider is reused, and the fork. Otherwise, all new. Starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The engine is in. Header's clear. So time to start plugging everything in. Check off list starting to go. Put an H pipe in. Put some right in front of the mufflers. Gonna put these in so I can take the exhaust section out from here. I built these tire cribs. Should have done that a long time ago. They work awesome. And I definitely like these rims better. Those tires air up. They only hold air for about 15 minutes. Rebuilt. 1426 for the 335 gear set. We got an adjustable cable with a billet adjuster and billet clutch bracket, so we can really ram on that thing. Boom. got the bolt free. Woo! Pretty much been working on the car all day. Got new H-pipe put together. High quality welded, fabbed in an H. We also put on flanges so I can take this off. And then I moved the O2 sensors so they're pointing up and closer to the collectors. Got the shifter all back in here. All right, well, pretty much spent the entire day out here today. But I also added some things to the list. But the list is getting more comprehensive. Oh, I'm sore. Yeah, we got the trans in. All those wires pretty much taken care of. I do need to figure out why the oil plugs are both dripping oil, even though there's basically no oil in the engine. Clutch cable in. Hopefully that's enough clearance. It's hard to see in there, but there's a billet clutch adjuster in there now. Let's see if I can even get this up in. There you can see it. It's got that rubber band on it. That is a billet. The old one was plastic. So I'll put a billet one on. Then we're basically ready to clean up and paint our intake. This is our before of our intake plate, so we're gonna redo that. Just trying to do a little bit every day. Went ahead and popped off the thermostat. We'll test it, but this whole engine looks really clean. And that looks great. Kind of hard to see there, but oil crush washers under the plugs, they're not leaking. The old ones were leaking even though I didn't even have oil in it. Preparing it for first crank. So pulled all the plugs today and fogged them, the cylinders with fogging oil, just to have some lubrication in there. Loosened up the distributor, but gotta find top dead center, pull that out. We're gonna, I guess you can just put a socket, and obviously you tape it up so it doesn't fall down in the engine, but you can just put a socket right on the oil pump shaft and run it. So we're gonna go ahead and build oil pressure that way, crank it, do 90 degrees, build oil pressure, 90 degrees on the crank, oil pressure, do that 4 times. So we've got oil pressure and oil throughout the oil passages. And then the inertia switch isn't hooked up, and we'll pop that off and crank it over. The intake, not blue. We're just gonna go with a gray because I already have that paint. But we'll prime it, clear it, and then I'm gonna do the body color on the face paint. So I'm gonna get that media blasted, painted, and then we'll sand off the top. So that's kind of a nice aluminum look on the top. The speedo sensor, I broke that clip off trying to get it in. I sold this bar from the red car today, so I'm gonna go ahead and box that up. 175 bucks. That car keeps giving, even though it's still in pieces. It's really helped fund this. And if this engine is truly as good as it seems, if that engine's good, it's gonna be sweet. What have we been doing? Painting the intake. A little nicer than this other one, right?
Yep.
Then what did we do to the front of the Mustang? First of all, it moved. What? We flushed the engine block with the hose, right?
Yep.
Up and down, on and off, on and off. One step closer. All right, to prime the Ford 302, you take off the distributor. First of all, you set it to top dead center on compression stroke. So you pull spark plug number 1, make sure the air is blowing out. Find top dead center, which should be marked on your timing thing as 0 on your harmonic dampener. And then if you want, you could put something long down the cylinder and it'll push up. And then if you go past it, it'll go down. Ace didn't really have enough clearance to do it well. I'm nervous. You are in neutral. Clutching still. That's awesome. I didn't hear any engine sound. Everything sounded good. And we're ready. All right, got a new list. It's getting shorter. Before we can run it, we need to install the thermostat, install the belt. These aren't necessarily in order. You need to watch the AC pump to make sure that that's gonna spin freely. I'm a little concerned about that. Get the radiator installed. Here's a way to figure out your belt size. So route a string, measure it. Obviously that's with the tensioner fully extended, so it'll need to be a little shorter than that. Going to now try to start the Mustang for the first time.
Why is the engine smoking?
I don't know.
Why is the engine smoking?
It's just the header paint. That's all. Redid this nameplate. Got a media blasted at the local place. Painted it same color as the body, and then sanded it with 220 grit, I think. Just the top, and then sealed it. Looks so good. Skill every man should have is soldering. Soldering in the fan connection. This solder gun, by the way, works amazing. Xtronic 3000 students. I think I just got it from Amazon, but you got a digital readout and control done on their hardware. I'm trying to gravity feed this, but it's not working, so I think we're gonna go with the old-fashioned way. Yeah, here in a minute. Yeah, nothing's coming out. I'm working on the reservoir overflow. I'm gonna try and get one situated in there. Pop it off the old shroud. Oh, what's that sound? Hey! No wonder where the 8 was. That's not actually my 8. Oh, I got 2 of them. Alright, we're waiting. Pre-run, checked off. This radiator has no drain plug. And I put straight tap water in. And that lower hose was horrible to get off. So, all right, we're running. Do have an exhaust leak. Temp's good, oil pressure's good. So far, so good. You might ask how all this sediment got on my driveway, rust and muck. I thought that the cap, so you turn it and it locks, and it started releasing pressure. So I walked away for a couple minutes and figured all the pressure would release. Now I'm looking at it, it's at like 190 or something. I'm thinking, oh, that's below the boiling point. So I should be good. So I put a towel over it with the convertible top up or down. I go ahead and turn it. All my family's sitting in the garage right here. I don't know why I didn't record it. If you're gonna do something dumb, you should at least record it, right? And I crack it open and it just geysers like up to the power lines, and I'm just like watching and like that is all gonna go in right into the interior. Fortunately it didn't. The whole engine bay though is just covered with this nasty rust water. All my beautiful paint and like some of the valve cover paint's all splotchy and nasty now and wipe off. So I got most of it cleaned up. Fortunately only like 6 drips went in the interior, so I'll still have to clean that up, but that could have been a lot worse. And I just got one little tiny like hot spot on my hand, didn't get burned, so the towel saved me there, but that was dumb. Anyways, so then we let it cool off for half hour or whatever, filled it with antifreeze again, and apparently the steam treatment cleared something because I was able to put the full quantity of 3.5 gallons in, and then we drove it for like half an hour all the way, to 70 mile an hour, and it was staying cool. So hopefully that problem's solved. Just got a couple little things to button up. So here's the engine. You can see all of these. I've cleaned the top and that stuff doesn't clean off. And then got all this rust water sitting everywhere. Oh, and I didn't clamp this down when I drove it the first time, so I wrinkled all the paint down. So I just have 2.5-inch speakers, which I did replace up there with some way nicer than the originals. And then there's 6.5s back here, but they're old. But it had like no guts at all. So I don't know how well you can hear it. Still gotta get this all done. Here, let's turn it up a little. It's about the cheapest setup that you can get on Amazon. It's 11:40 at night, raining outside. Car's back together minus the hood, and still gotta pop the center console in. So actually, that's not a bad body gap. I don't hate that. That one's okay. Couldn't get that one tighter. There's kind of a flaw there, but whatever. That one's pretty good. Better than that side. It's decent. And then the one I see the most is actually really good, so. paint the hood black and the wing to match and get those put on. And then I have a tiny power steering leak, so I think the high pressure line I'll have to replace at some point. Welcome to the country's 250th birthday. Rah! We're working on a Mustang, trying to get it ready for in a couple weeks, there's a car show I'd like to go to. Working on getting the trunk fin put on. I was gonna just paint this one, but we found a lot of Bondo. It's easier. Take the current one. We'll just Bondo in these holes. I'm gonna weld this in, Bondo in those holes, and then drill our wing. We're gonna delete the badge. Yeah, we got a couple holes to fill in there too. And then the old sticker, you can just barely see if you get the right angle. Bad A boys drive bad A toys is what it says. We're gonna delete on that. Joey Chestnut won the hot dog eating contest. Disgusting. I'm gonna go eat lunch in a second. Got that cleaned up. That welded in, and then we'll Bondo these couple spots here. All right, there we are. It's after a few hours of sanding. Got the trunk all prepped, holes all filled. Here, got the wing all sanded down. That took way more time than I thought. These lines weren't showing up, and then everywhere there's clear coat that's failed, so. All right, back here working on the wing again. So I'll still do this, but had some pinholes. So I'm using glazing putty, and spot putty. Seems to work pretty good. So we'll let that dry, sand that out. Kind of got it a little thick there, but like most of these are pretty smooth and just. US lose in the World Cup. Got the trunk and wing ready to go. I think the trunk is done. Got it mounted up, mocked up. So I'll take them apart again. That needs final sanding, but I think I'm good. A couple little things like that, but I think sanding will pull that out. All right, continuing to try and get ready for car show. Decided to just go with black in the middle. So we'll see how that looks. There were some really bad scratches here, so I scratched those out and I just hit it with some primer to fill them in. Looks like it's gonna cover. I sanded it off. You can see some glaringly obvious spots. It looks really good here, but then you can see up here I didn't put it on thick enough in the last coat and it's like really splotchy. How do you think it turned out?
Good, good.
Look at that. Pretty good for rattle can.
Show them that.
My prep wasn't as good on this, so whoop, don't touch it actually. I got some little spots that didn't come out. The big hole in the middle though looks good. That doesn't matter though because this is going to be covering all that. If you back up here and it's an overcast day, it'll look mint. Never mind the lawnmower that the kids are learning how to take bolts off, but there she is. Having a whale of a time getting the trunk to latch. I like it. Definitely adds some aggression to it. Where are we going next Saturday?
To the car show with it.
Yep. Gotta do some details and then clean it up really good.